Hello.
Hi, how are you? So
Good.
exciting to be with you today.
I know, my favorite person.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm Julia.
I'm Amy, and this is Women, Worth, and Weddings.
Yes. And we are still in dry January. So this is like a strawberry lemonade refresher. It does not look very strawberry, but I promise it is a strawberry and lemonade poppy with other stuff in it. So
It's very yummy. Actually, it's very refreshing.
mhm.
If this was like a signature cocktail, like a alcohol-free signature cocktail that you're doing at your wedding, I would definitely put strawberries in it.
Yeah, 1000%. I didn't make it very pretty.
Yeah.
I was just trying to throw some stuff together. You
It's
could do
good
like
though.
strawberry and like mint or something like that.
Yeah.
You can make it look more pretty, but at least I had a fancy glass for it.
Yeah, I love it.
So, A for effort.
So good. Yes. So what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about vendors, like do's and don'ts, and kind of curating good relationships with other vendors.
Yeah, like how to become a planner's friend in
Yeah.
this industry.
Because planners and venues get a lot of DMs and like messages to their websites and all kinds of stuff about, working together.
Yeah.
We're always open to working with new vendors, but there's like some do's and don'ts that we know that turn off venues and stuff that can just like, you got to nail down how you get added to people's list and how you create a relationship with other vendors. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the big things that we get a lot is just random requests to be put on a preferred vendors list. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know you.
Mhm.
We've never worked with you. We can't vouch for you.
Mhm.
So let's talk about what a preferred vendors list is.
yeah,
Maybe
let's
people
go down
don't.
to like what it actually is and how you get on a list.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we can't be like, oh, you should use this DJ for sure. And then that DJ is not a good DJ whatsoever. Then the couple's turning and looking at us like, well, this is actually your fault.
Yeah,
And so-
everything is our fault.
So we have to make sure every vendor that's on our list is someone that we've worked with like 3 times at least with no issues.
Yeah.
And
So-
sometimes we'll work with them once and be like, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah.
Let's work together again.
Yeah, for sure. So a preferred vendors list is a list of vendors that either a planner or a venue says, these are my people.
Yeah.
I like them. They work well with us. They do a good job. We haven't had any complaints. I know them personally. This is who you should hire for your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So when you message us and say, hey, can I be put on your preferred vendors list? And I've never even spoke to you before, it's a huge turnoff.
Yeah.
It lets me know that you don't really know how this industry works.
Yeah. And I get it. When you're new, you're trying to figure out the best way to get added to a list. But, this will just kind of help you figure out how can you be on someone's list the right way.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So I think if you want to be, and I can solely just speak for myself, take me out for a coffee.
Mhm.
Like, talk to me about your vision, like what you want, the type of clients that you're wanting. Like, let's create a connection. So then maybe I don't put you on my vendors list, but I will say, hey, there's this new photographer that's out, very sweet. I had coffee with them. I would love to give them a shot. Why don't you talk to them and see how you feel about them?
Mhm.
And then once you work with us a couple times and you don't mess up, then we will definitely consider putting you on our preferred vendors list. But let's build a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just reaching out and being like, give me is kind of definitely a turnoff. You have to create relationships. This industry is very relationship based. A lot of vendors get weddings based off of word of mouth.
Yeah, we do not advertise at all. All of our weddings come from other vendors. And so it is very important to create a really good relationship.
Yeah. And when it comes to venues, I've had venues, complain about the same thing. What they really like is for you to actually put time and effort in, go out, do a venue tour, offer them something, offer services, offer, style shoots, being there when they are trying to put together an event and offering services for free, either like an open house or something like that, giving and not just taking.
Yeah.
So,
like, how can I serve you instead of how can you serve me?
yeah.
So I think that, really just saying, okay, hey, do you have anything going on where I can DJ for you, or I can bring out, some of our like best food that everybody
Yeah.
loves, like
Bring
those
if
type
you're
of
a
things.
bartender, go out with like a bottle of champagne, and then really just having all these conversations in person is way different, more personal than just sending an email or a DM or a PM, talking to them in person, face to face, telling them about, what you think of their venue, like good, like all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then being like, how can I help you as a vendor?
Yeah. What's some other ways that
Yeah.
they can?
That they can get on a list.
Yeah. Like, I mean, what
For
are
us
some?
personally, we find a lot of new people through style shoots.
Yes.
If you follow us on social media, we definitely check out your page. Like, oh, a photographer followed us, or that's an awesome bartender that's followed us. And I keep you in mind. I really do when I'm trying to find vendors for a couple, and all of my go-to people are booked up or something like that. It happens. So sometimes we have 5 weddings in one day. When that's happening, all of my go-to people are most likely spread out through different weddings.
Yeah.
And so I am looking for, new bartenders and stuff like that. So social media is a huge thing for me personally, how I find vendors, just because I like seeing what they have going on and stuff like that.
So what's another way that is a don't for vendors? We made a list. Where's our
Cold
list?
calling.
Where is our list? Let me see.
A don't for vendors. One of the things that we do is we are the planners. So we have a list of all the vendors involved in a wedding. We follow everyone on social media, and we try to create a little bit of a understanding and relationship with them before the wedding happens. Reaching out, following them on social media, the getter, timeline, layout, our phone numbers, and make sure they have like a good contact before the wedding even happens, obviously. But then we also see their portfolio. We know like how legit they are. We know if they're newer in the industry, we kind of like know moving into the wedding. And I think other vendors do the same exact thing. I understand a lot of wedding planners can be very DIY. You never know if you're going to show up to a wedding where it's an aunt being the wedding planner or what, but look at the other vendors. Look at their portfolio. Because sometimes we do with DJs and photographers, they come in and they think they're running the show because they don't know how long we've been doing this.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, like whatever, like I hear you, but I'm not listening to you until someone corrects them.
Yeah. Because we've been doing this for a long time, and we have a really good reputation with a lot of venues. And so what we've seen actually recently was a vendor was very dismissive, very rude until he Googled us.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to be our friend and wanted to show me his work. But guess what? That relationship's dead. Like, there is no way on God's green earth that I'm ever going to work with you again. So
you've already showed your true colors. I just don't be mean in general, obviously.
Right.
But the fact that you were rude to us up to the point of you actually figured out how,
until the venue
are.
said something to them about how we do all their weddings and that we are a legit wedding planning company. And then they Googled us and was like, oh, you have a podcast? Like, you actually do this stuff? Oh, you should interview me on your podcast.
Yeah.
How about no? How about hard pass?
How about just be nice?
Yeah.
Be nice to people. You shouldn't ever have to be like, oh, crap, I've already been mean to them. I've already shown my true colors. Maybe I can fix this. Maybe you should just be a good person even if they are new to the industry.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I spoke to a venue one time that we work with a lot, and the venue owners, they don't come out of the gate and say, we own this venue. They're given the tour. So a lot of people don't know that they're touring with the venue owners. And so we have been told that they have had vendors be very rude to them until they find out that they're the vendor owners. But then by then it's just,
yeah, because even at wedding days, I feel like they're very like incognito.
Yeah.
Like you don't know, there's so much staff there that you can't really like tell unless you know them.
Yeah.
And so people are just funny. I don't understand vendors being mean to each other. I really don't. It takes a team to get through a wedding day. We all rely on each other in different ways. Everything flows perfectly when everyone trusts each other and is following the timeline.
Yeah.
And if you're just like giving so much pushback and being rude, then it's throwing everything off.
And it makes it a tense environment. I think that, coming into a place where you're in a scarcity mindset, that if for some reason that vendor is shining on the wedding day, it's making you less shiny. is just so ridiculous. We've seen that before at weddings where people want to throw each other under the bus or like make other vendors look bad because it makes you look like the hero, which I think is just so asinine and it makes me so mad. But it's like just everybody be team players and get through this. And then at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about the day of the wedding and making sure the couple is happy and that everybody that attends the wedding is happy. And we will all look good if everybody leaves saying that was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we hit the not listening, not tagging. When we post about weddings, we try to find all the vendors and we tag all the vendors in our post just so, social media is such a huge way to promote yourself nowadays. So if someone tags you in something, you can add it to your story, you can request the pictures. Because sometimes we get tagged and stuff and we're like, oh, the pictures are out or the video's out. Let's go ahead and snag that. So tagging all the vendors involved in a wedding is a really good way to support other vendors and help each other out. That's, again, makes it easy when I follow everyone before the wedding even happens. Yeah. And sometimes I just can't find someone. I can't find their social media. So I just say whatever the vendor is and their name. So at least I'm putting down their official name, but I just couldn't find their tag.
And then if you take the time, take the time to research who you're going to be working with. Julia's great at that. But yeah, just tag people, give people credit for their work. We all work really hard.
Yeah. I like stalking people.
Yeah.
To find out who they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I like their photography style. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So, supporting other vendors. So I talked about social media is a big part of that. Styled shoots, vendor networking. If you're at any the wedding expos, actually connecting with the other vendors around you. There's been times where we're at a wedding expo and we're getting mean glares from the vendor next to us. We're like, we're not even the same type of vendor.
Yeah.
Remember that one time everyone around us got flowers but us? It was the end of the expo and she was passing out all of her bouquets. She didn't want to take any of the flowers with her. It was a florist. And every vendor around us got flowers but us. And there were still flowers left. And we were just like, I would like some flowers.
I just think that there are people just in life in general that are very much if you get, I don't get. And so I feel like everybody, and I think I raised my kids to be this way too, is be a cheerleader for people. Be someone's support system. Say, oh my gosh, how can I help you? What can I do? How can I support you? When I'm talking to another vendor or just another entrepreneur in general, it's well, how can I support you? What can I do to help you? Is there anything that I can share for you? Or is there something that you want me to do? Because I feel like that is just showing the universe that you are open. And when you're open, then things flow to you. If you can't, it has to flow out and flow in. So that's just how I live my life.
If you have all your walls up, you're also not getting anything through your walls that's positive.
Yeah. So I think that someone, I don't know who it was, but did an analogy one time and they said that if you have your fist closed, nothing's going to leave. You're not going to lose anything, but you're also not going to get anything. Yeah. So you have to be open. So that was I'm really big on visual. So that was very good visual for me. So you just have to know that if you don't get something and someone else does, it wasn't meant for you. So just be I'm thankful that person got it. That's how I feel when clients call me and say, oh, I'm so sorry we decided to go with a different wedding planner. I'm not butthurt about it. I'm oh, I know your wedding's going to be amazing. I think that it's going to be great. And I do a little mental blessing for them and I let it go because it wasn't meant for me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many weddings happening nowadays that you can't book everything. Yeah. You can't. There's some times where we'll get a date completely booked and we're still getting a request for it. Fall, it's always fall. We've gotten a lot of October where we've already been booked for that weekend for a while now. And just being able to send them to a different wedding planner is good,
We get that a lot where they're oh, we wanted to book you so bad, but do you trust another wedding planner out there? And we have wedding planners that we absolutely love. I mean, in Charlotte, we love the Hospitality Butler. He's amazing. He's a competitor of ours, but I want him to be successful. I think he's a good guy. I think he's really good at what he does. We have planners that we meet out in social networking that we're oh, I love you. It doesn't mean if they're in the same industry as you, it doesn't mean you have to be enemies. You can be team players.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about vendors that you want to hit?
No, I think, you know, our vendors that we work with help us create an environment that is phenomenal for our couples. And I am very loyal to the vendors that we work with. I think that they are some of the best people, and I take a vested interest not only in them in their business, but also in their personal life. And I think that if you take that stance, you will create an environment where people want to give you business.
We should just start listing off vendors that we like. All right, let's go.
Okay, let's do it. So DJ,
obviously DJ Travis.
Yes, famous music group. Love, adore, best friends forever.
I have to say curated events.
Events.
I love both my contacts. I have a contact here in Charlotte. I have a contact in Charleston. Love them both so much. They've been so helpful. They make the whole design process for me as a wedding designer so much easier. My go-to people. Love them.
Photographers. Gosh, we have a list. So we love Mary Mizuko. I love Sheila Photography. What's another one?
Aisha.
Aisha. Love Wonder Blue Creative. Love her. There's so many photographers that I adore.
We have so many different types of vibes that we love.
Yes.
That are like, oh, that's our go-to person.
So you think of photographers, I'm going to go to catering. So catering, we absolutely love Just Eat This in Charleston. Chris is a chef, and he is phenomenal. Love Southern Bear. Love them as well. Harvest Catering, love them. In Charlotte, we love 10 Kitchen. Who else do we love?
10 Kitchen, City Barbecue is really great.
City Barbecue, yep.
Bree, that's what I was trying to.
Bree, what's Bree's photography?
Bree Scales Photography. I think I read that right. Bree. I'm struggling with words again.
Oh gosh.
Bree,
so,
we love you.
Yes, we do. And so, who are some other vendors that we love?
Sheila.
I
love Sheila.
Yeah.
She's that go-to Asheville photographer. I love Sheila.
Venues, we love Hart Meadows in Charleston. Absolutely adore. Charleston Harbor, love them.
Thin Space Photography.
Photography.
The more I sit here, I'm just going to start thinking of more people.
Yeah. So, honestly, if you want to know some really good vendors, and I'm sorry if we didn't list you in all the lists, but if you have if you're like, I really want a good photographer, a caterer, whatever, message us because we have a long, long list.
Behind the Bar, Charlotte.
Behind the Bar, Charlotte. Yes, love. We also love, what's the other bar company
in Charleston?
Yeah.
There's so many tap trucks there.
Tap trucks are big.
Let's see.
Bar
Bougie in Charlotte's really good.
Bar Bougie in Charlotte's good.
There's always little tap
Chug-a-lug.
Chug-a-lug. There you go.
Chug-a-lug. Love Chug-a-lug. Okay, so venues, real quick. Let's name them
out.
Hart Meadows, number one.
That's in Charleston.
Douglas Ellington is in Asheville. We love Charleston Harbor.
Legacy of Gregory Downs.
Legacy of Gregory
Such an
Downs.
amazing venue owner.
Yes.
Ivory Barn, beautiful, and Lake Norman. There's so many. The Porter Room in Charleston's great.
Porter Room.
We have a newer venue in Charlotte. The Dugarin Venues and Vineyards. I'm so horrible with words. I get really nervous. I'm going to say stuff wrong.
Yeah. We always do. So we love our vendors. We appreciate you so much.
The Island House in Charleston too. That was a really good venue.
Oh yeah, I love the Island House. That was good.
Really pretty.
Yep. Well, I think this has been a great episode.
Oh, and Agape Oaks weddings.
Yes, them too.
We have a lot in our head.
Yeah.
That's why it's so good to have a wedding planner because they're like, okay, that's what you need. This is what you're going to do.
Yep.
These are the people.
These are your people. Love it. All right. Well, I am excited, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.